विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रष्टाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिन्निति नामिनी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रष्टाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिनी। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देशतारिणे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देगं श्रीगुरुश्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सकगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वरा परम कृष्णा सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंदा सर्व कारण कारणम। Hare Krishna. By Lord Sri Krishna's causeless mercy, we are nicely studying Bhagavad Gita. So we finished 40 slokas in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that is opulence, the opulence of the absolute. So here Krishna told, because Arjuna asked Krishna to tell him all his opulences. But Krishna told Arjuna that there is no limit for his opulences. So but still Krishna told Arjuna that he will tell the most prominent of them, the most prominent opulence. So that way, by Krishna's causeless mercy, we are understanding in this Bhagavad Gita about Krishna's opulence, because Krishna is telling, because Arjuna asked. So it is Arjuna asked, Krishna is telling, and we are knowing. We are understanding, we are getting to know about Krishna's opulence from this Bhagavad Gita. So that way, we are directly we are hearing from Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, about how he is everything, how he is the best in everything. So Krishna is the best in everything. And now Krishna, next chapter we are also going to study about Krishna's Viswarupa, that is Krishna's universal form. So that also you won't get anywhere else. That knowledge also you won't find anywhere else. Only in Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is only one book which has got all the knowledge in one place to deliver ourselves from this material bondage. We just have to study and understand this book completely, understand all the slokas in Bhagavad Gita fully, and then just follow what Krishna says. That means fully depend on Krishna. And Krishna is asking us to work in such a way that it should help us to free us from this world, free us from this material world. So, because it is possible for us to get bound to this material world or get freed from this material world, depending upon whether our mind is thinking about the results of our activities, or our mind is thinking about Krishna. Depending upon that, the reaction will be there. So when we are doing an activity, when you are doing an action, doing a duty, if our mind thinks only about Krishna, not about the results, then we are freed, because we are doing that activity for Krishna, for the satisfaction of Krishna. But if we are thinking only about the results, not about Krishna, only about the results, so that means then we will be bound by the results. Because we want to enjoy those results, and we want to claim those results. That is the main thing. Kripana palahetavaga. A person who is seeking the results is a miser. That's what kripanaha palahetavaga. So we don't want to be a miser. Because for us, unlimited, all our needs are fulfilled in an unlimited way. We really don't have to think about the results. We don't have to worry about the results. What we need, Krishna will give us. Krishna is the owner of everything. Krishna is the source of everything, and everything comes from Krishna. So then we should only fully depend only on Krishna. That's it. Not on anything else. So that way we should not be worried about the results. We should not be worried about our achievements or worried about our accomplishments or what we want or all those things. There is simply no need to think about it, no need to worry about it. Because whatever we need, anyhow it is coming from Krishna. Everything is coming from Krishna only. Mattaga sarvam pravartade. Everything comes from me. So our needs are satisfied, our needs are fulfilled by Krishna. But really, what is our need actually? That's what we need to understand. What is our real need in this world? Do we need all these things in this material world? Material things, material assets, material things. Do we really need all of those things for us in this world? Because those are needed only to maintain our body. That's it. So sariram kevalam karma. So just for the sariram, only for the body. Sarira yatra pichate na prasaddayet akarmanaga. Nahi degabrita sakyam tyaktum karmani asesataga. So having this body, material body, we cannot give up all the activities completely, and we need to act at least to maintain this body. Only to that much extent only we need to work, we need to act. Other than that, we really don't need anything in this material world. If at all anything we want, we should only aim for such things to satisfy Krishna, to serve Krishna, to please Krishna. So for that reason, if we are going after something in this material world, then that is absolutely okay. There is no problem. Because here our goal is only to please Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. But if we want everything on our name, if you want everything for us to enjoy, so if you are so much attached to the material sense objects in this material world, forgetting about Krishna, so then that's not a good thing for us. That means we are losing this great opportunity. We are missing the boat. We cannot lose this opportunity. We cannot miss the boat of transcendental knowledge, the boat of Bhagavad Gita. So that's what we need. For our Atma, for the soul, we need only Krishna. To get connected with Krishna, that's what we need. So that way, this time we need to effectively use. This human life is very important and we need to effectively use. So the best way of using our time is studying and understanding Bhagavad Gita all the time. Get the complete knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. That's what is very important. Because this knowledge only is going to help us to relax, to free ourselves from all kinds of anxieties, all kinds of depressions, anxieties in this material world. Because we should not be attached to results. Everything is coming because of our attachment to results. We need to give up our attachment to results. That is the main thing. If we are not thinking about results, if we are not worried about results, then our mind is not worried. Our mind is not distressed. So then there is no problem. There is no stress. Distress, it is stress. So when our mind is distressed, we are stressed out. Then if we are stressed out, if we experience stress in this material world because of our attachments to material sense objects, then our body is not going to work well. Because the stress produces a lot of problems in our health also. If our mind is very happy, if our mind is very satisfied, if we are not worrying about anything, then our body also will work well. Our digestion system will work well. Everything else will work well. Our heart rate, our blood pressure, everything will be normal if we are not stressed out. If we have stress, then all these things will get screwed up. It's not good for us. So that way, studying Bhagavad Gita, following Bhagavad Gita is actually going to give us a very healthy life. That's very important. Otherwise, people in this world in general, doing Ugra Karma, not able to find enough time to sleep, not able to get quality food to eat. So we are just trying to die faster. That is the main thing. We're going to our lifetime it's getting reduced when we don't sleep enough, when we don't eat good food. So that way our health is in danger. So that way we are struggling, we are suffering in this material world. That's what we need to understand. So Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is teaching us that one should take care of eating and then sleeping. That's very important, very, very important. If we are not able to control, if we are not able to regulate, so that means we are not able to achieve yoga. We cannot control our mind. If we cannot control our eating and sleeping, then there is no way we can control our mind. So for all devotees, the first thing is that we should sleep enough. We should eat good amount of. If possible, 8 hours is definitely good sleep, 8 hours. If not, at least 7 hours, but not less than 7 hours. So that way, that is for an adult. So for children, they have to sleep even more depending upon their age. An infant needs 14 hours, 15, 16 hours of sleep only, all the time sleeping. That's what you will see the the infant will be sleeping most of the time because they need that much sleep. So that way, we need to design our life. We need to plan our life in such a way that we should not be stressing out too much in this material world. If we are depending on Krishna, then Krishna will give us a way. Krishna will show us a way to plan everything. So if we study Bhagavad Gita, if we depend on Krishna, then by Krishna's causeless mercy, all these things are possible. So we have to only fully depend on Krishna. That is the main thing. So that's why Krishna is saying that always you depend on me on everything. That's what Krishna is saying. We are always a function of Krishna. That's it. Krishna is the complete independent supreme person, and we should be always depending on Krishna. We are Y and Krishna is X. So that way, if you depend on Krishna completely in each and every activity, because for each and every action to succeed, Krishna has to agree. Then only it's going to succeed. If Krishna agrees, it is going to succeed. There is no doubt about it. So there is no point in ourselves lamenting, worrying or anything. If anything has to happen, without Krishna's approval, nothing is going to happen. So let us find out what Krishna wants from us and then do what Krishna expects from us and then try to please Krishna, because Krishna will be very happy if we do what Krishna is expecting from us. If we are able to meet his expectations, if we are able to exceed his expectations, so then Krishna is going to be very, very pleased with us. So the goal of our life only is to please Krishna, is to do everything as per Krishna's expectations. So that means we need to know what Krishna is expecting from us. So the only way we can get that information is from this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. Because in Bhagavad Gita only Krishna is directly talking with us. He is giving the knowledge, complete knowledge in Bhagavad Gita. When Arjuna asks one question, Krishna is answering in many, many slokas. Krishna is giving so much of answer. Arjuna simply asked Krishna in the 3rd chapter, 2nd sloka, 1st and 2nd slokas, like, you are confusing me. I am confused by your equivocal instructions. You please tell me for certain what is good for me. Yashreyasya nishchitam brugittanme, then tadekam vada nishchitya yena sreyo aham apnya. Tadekam vada nishchitya. Tell me only one. Then Krishna said the entire in the third chapter about karma yoga, how important it is to do our karma yoga, all our activities, all our duties without any results, without expecting any results. And Krishna said that he himself is an example for us. Because Krishna has nothing to do in this world. There was nothing forcing Krishna to drive Arjuna's chariot. That is Krishna's decision, that's it. No one is compelling, no one is binding Krishna to drive Arjuna's chariot. And no one is also forcing Krishna to deliver this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. It's all due to his causeless mercy. That's what it is known as, causeless mercy. Krishna loves us so much. He doesn't want us to suffer and struggle in this material world. We need to realize, we need to understand that there is Maya, the three modes of material nature. So that is very, very strong and very powerful. And it's very difficult to escape from Maya. So Krishna wants us to know this knowledge. Krishna wants us to know that this material world is a place for suffering. This material world is a temporary, miserable place. Krishna wants us to know. Nothing is asking, nothing is forcing Krishna to give this knowledge to us, but Krishna loves us so much, and Krishna wants us to free ourselves from this material world and go to Krishna's world and enjoy there with him forever. So that's why Krishna is giving this knowledge. Now it is our duty to do the same thing to please Krishna, to satisfy Krishna. Get this knowledge, give this knowledge. That's it. Study Bhagavad Gita, spread Bhagavad Gita. That's it. So just if we do that, it's not at all hard for us to understand these slokas. We are already studying every day. We finished now in the 10th chapter, 40 slokas, only 2 more slokas to finish the 10th chapter. And we are making great progress, excellent progress by Krishna's mercy. We are not seeing any difficulty in understanding any sloka, any verses. All the slokas, all the verses, everything is very, very straightforward, very clear. Krishna is teaching us. His instructions are very, very clear. So we need to act without expecting results. That is the main thing. And that is possible only if we act for Krishna. If we act for ourselves, that means if we expect the results, then we are going to bind ourselves into this material world. Then it will become, we will be materially entangled. Then it's very difficult for us to get out of this material entanglement. So that way, whatever activity we do, as we studied in the 3rd chapter, Yajnarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaga. Any activity any action which is not done to please Krishna, as an offering unto Krishna, is going to bind us to this material world. It's going to bind us. We are already bound. We are already bound in this material world by this material body. The soul is bound by the material body. Like in mathematics, when you solve some problems, there will be boundary conditions. So bound, what are the boundary conditions? The domain. So our domain, this body, so this soul is bound inside this body. We are caged. And we have only 9 gates for this body. Navadware. But still, the soul is inside this body. It cannot just go out through any of these gates. These gates are only for the body. Only for the material to come in and go out for the body. These gates. So for the air to come in and go out, apana, prana, apana. Apana is coming in and prana is going out. So apana, prana, apana. Then similarly for the mouth, we are eating and then we have anus and genital to send them out. So That way we have eyes to see and ears to hear, nose to smell, all these things in this material veil, in this material body, but the soul is bound inside this material body. So now if we act with attachment to results, then this bondage is going to increase. It will become very, very strong. Then it's very difficult for us to release ourselves from this material body. The only way the soul can escape from this material body, from this material bondage, is to not get attached to the results. When we are acting, we should not be attached to anything. And that is possible only when we are attached to Krishna. If we are not able to develop that love towards Krishna, then we won't be able to give up the attachment to the results. We won't be able to give up the attachment to the material sense objects if we are not able to develop love towards Krishna. So only by loving Krishna, that means by studying Bhagavad Gita, understanding Bhagavad Gita, and knowing that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead without any confusion, without any doubt, and then just falling in love with Krishna and doing everything for Krishna. So that is the only way we can free ourselves from this material entanglement. Then only in our day-to-day activities, we can do in such a way that we won't be bound by our actions. The reactions should not be affecting us. It should not be binding us. So if you are demons, if you have demoniac nature, so then that is going to bind us. Devi sampati vimokshaya nibandhaya asuri mataga. So if you have a Devi sampat, if you have connection with Krishna, if you are connected to Krishna, that's what is called Devi sampat. Devi sampat means when we are connected with Krishna, Devi sampat vimokshaya, we will be freed from this material veil. Devi sampat vimokshaya nibandhaya asuri mataga. So if you are asura, if you are demons, if you are connected, if you are attached to material sense objects, if you only want the results in this material veil, if we ignore Krishna, then if you are demons, so then it is nibandhaya. Nibandhaya means it binds us. Then we are bound to this material veil. That's why nibandhaya asuri mataga. So that way this Bhagavad Gita knowledge is very, very important for us, and we need to study, understand this Bhagavad Gita and fully realize and follow all such things. So then we will be freed from this material veil, and it is not possible by everyone. Only 1 in 1,000 will be able to take this path and follow and make progress, and all such things are possible only 1 in 1,000, not for everyone. Because everyone, it is possible. If everyone is interested, if everyone has faith on Krishna, then it is possible. But if anyone who has no faith on Krishna, then it is not possible. So that way we cannot go and convert everyone to become a Krishna's devotee. That is not possible. But that 1 in 1,000 will take this very seriously. We need to give this opportunity for them, and we need to identify those devotees and give this knowledge to them. So that is our important duty. That's our primary duty for Krishna, to serve Krishna, to please Krishna. And the devotees in the past have done like that. That's why we are studying Bhagavad Gita now. So, also in the past, they have followed what is given in Bhagavad Gita. So they have followed the instructions, and then they have achieved Krishna. They have achieved Goloka. So we just have to follow their same path. Just by giving this knowledge to others, making a lot of devotees, then we will also go to Goloka. So in the 10th chapter, we finished 40 slokas. In the 40th sloka, we studied. Krishna said that, Nantosti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa ye sadute sataka prokto vibhute vistaro maya. That's what Krishna said. Nantosti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantam. So there is no limit, there is no end to my divine manifestation. Nantosti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantam. Whatever I have told is just examples, that's what. Yesadute sataka prokto vibhute vistaro maya. So just examples. So now in the next sloka, Krishna is teaching us, in the sloka number 41. Yadyad vibhuti matsatvam srimadurjitam yevava taddadeva gachatvam mama tejom sasambhavam. Yadyad vibhuti matsatvam. So whatever Krishna is saying that vibhuti, yadyat vibhuti means whatever vibhuti, whatever opulence. So matsatvam simaturjitam evava, which is going to come. So which is going to come. So all the wonderful, splendorous manifestations, everything. So that is beautiful, simaturjitam, glorious. So everything. So the all the opulences, all the opulent, beautiful and glorious creations. So Taddadeva gachatva mama tejamsa sambhavam. So you understand, you know that they are only coming from me. They are just tejamsa. Tejamsa means a spark of my splendor. So mama tejamsa sambhavam. They are merely, they are just a spark of my splendor. That's what Krishna is saying. Yadyad vibhuti matsatvam srimaturjitam evava Taddadeva gachatvam mama tejamsa sambhavam. So everything comes from Krishna. So that way, even in future, if you find anything new, if you find anything great, we need to understand that it is coming from Krishna only. That is Krishna only. That's what we need to know. So everywhere we need to, then only we will be able to see Krishna everywhere. We will be able to see Krishna in everything. So that is the only way we will be able to free ourselves from this material way. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we have successfully finished the 41st slokam in the 10th chapter. We have only one more sloka to finish the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna. I will stop now and we will discuss if any questions are there. Hare Krishna.